Well, thank you very much for joining us, and it's my pleasure. My name is Gary Cooper, and it's going to be my pleasure to take you through this set of slides and help you to understand why MEMO is doing what it's doing. So let's go on with the slides now. This has been a year of great challenges and change. Nations with the most sophisticated medical systems have experienced unprecedented numbers of infection and deaths as a result of COVID-19. Countries struggling economically and with poor infrastructure are devastated with the additional burden of this global pandemic. This year, MEMO, like many other charities, must reach out for support in a different way in order to continue sending life-saving assistance to those in need. This video highlights the Zimbabwe Gecko Society and a group of boys struggling to improve life for themselves and their families. Let us tell you how MEMO is targeting their need for housing, education, and knowledge of God's love for them. The Zimbabwe Gecko Society, ZGS, was founded by Susan and Frank Giannetti, former residents of Zimbabwe, who, after relocating to Canada, felt compelled to help widows and orphans living in distress in their homeland. The Gecko Society's goal is to create long-term sustainable community health in Zimbabwe. To do this, they support existing programs that are struggling in an economically depressed country. Sustainable projects are the only way for the communities to provide long-term solutions for the extreme poverty experienced by many. These projects establish self-sufficiency in both individuals and their communities. The goal is to create permanent change, breaking the cycle of poverty by giving those most in need the skills and resources they would otherwise never access. The following is an example of these life-changing projects. Nimwa School is located at a safari ranch called Imri, southeast of the capital city, Harare. The school has over 1,000 children, and it provides the only secondary school facility within a 35-kilometer radius. The ZGS helps to support these children and the school. A particular group of 40 senior students, the Wedza boys, have been living in the most inhumane conditions for the last 2 years. They live too far away to go home, even on weekends. Judy, an aid worker, recently wrote to Sue Giannetti regarding the plight of these youth, and I quote from her letter, "The living quarters where these boys had been living literally was a leaking shell of a dilapidated so-called building that was finally vandalized to rubble. There is nothing left. The boys have been moved to the school grounds for security and protection under the supervision of a house matron. The 2 ocean containers from Zimbabwe Gecko donated and shipped by MEMO are a very great blessing. We have been given funds to renovate the containers into dormitories for these boys. The renovation includes foundations, windows and doors, insulation, roofing, flooring, building of a basic kitchen, shower room, and toilets. The Zimbabwe Gecko Society and MEMO, under the auspices of the EFCCM, are also very involved in furnishing the dormitory. This is so unexpected and just so exciting. It will truly make a huge difference to these kids who simply come to school with absolutely nothing, only enough maize meal for 1 meal a day, nothing extra. It's a harsh reality to know the importance of education and to know the harshness of life in order to get a form of education. This education will position the boys to lift up their families' lives with a hope of employment at the end of it all. They will have learned a trade and sustainable farming skills before returning home. This feels like Christmas as I write. I feel so excited to know that the lives of these kids are being considered and now improved. Even if it's just one of the needs on the wish list, the difference will be huge and so appreciated. I know for sure the boys' school marks will improve tremendously, and their lives will be just so different. We would like to thank you, Sue and Frank. You are so incredibly generous in initiating many of our community projects and are so motivated in uplifting the lives of the very needy rural people. On behalf of the boys and all of Emory, we would love to thank Zimbabwe Gecko and MEMO for all you do in our community. You are all quite wonderful. I just wish with all my heart you were able to see the difference your generosity makes to a poverty-stricken rural community. Thank you from us all, and God bless you. Signed, Judy. MEMO has been partnering with Zimbabwe Gecko Society since 2016, supporting the sustainable development of farming skills, trade schools for sewing, carpentry, and electronics repair. Because of generous donations from our local school boards, we have shipped sufficient student desks for a new school for 300 children, as well as outfitting a computer lab. MEMO has supplied equipment and furnishings for church ministries and Christian education in a region where witch doctors formerly ruled. Bibles have been sent for each of the Wedza boys in addition to household and educational support. We also provide medical equipment and supplies for 6 clinics and 4 hospitals in rural Zimbabwe. MEMO is the major provider of overseas logistical support for ZGS, having shipped 8 ocean containers full of these life-building and life-saving supplies. Each container costs $23,000 to reach Zimbabwe. Without generous donations, these desperately needed supplies would be sent to landfills instead of providing life in Zimbabwe. We need to raise funds to continue supporting the Wedza Boys Initiative and many other needy children like them. To view more videos regarding the plight of Zimbabwe's children, click on the links on the MEMO website. Because of a very generous supporter, all funds donated will be matched up to $11,500. You can help by clicking on the Donate Online button at www.memoministry.org and follow the instructions to mail a check. Donate by phone or online. Donations are receipted for tax purposes. Thank you for your financial and prayer support. Well, thank you very much for taking the time to watch and listen. And I just hope that what you have seen and what you have heard will help you in making a decision to make that donation. Again, thank you very much.
Hello, how are you? Thank you very much for the gift that you gave us. Grandmother of Dexter. Thank you, God bless. Thank you.